just the jokes that they have, but like I said, Twitter at the Trend Live, the hashtag is TTTT. Starting off with this very unfortunate incident, a robbery incident that occurred on Sunday, June 12th at 2 a.m. at a woman's home on Gataka Road in Rongai has raised eyebrows on our state of security. A total of 5 armed robbers accosted the victim as she drove into her homestead, broke her car windows, ordered the victim out of the car, and thereafter parking, meaning that she has a child or children, and just, you know, seeing this happen, can you imagine what she was going through?
Whew. First of all, yeah, just off of that extremely traumatic experience, and I hope this lady, wherever she is perhaps receiving some help, some counseling, and her family as well, because like you said, Amina, there's a bike clearly. There was the lady who opened the door initially. Yeah. All of those are people who are traumatized, and they're going to be that way for a 24 hours or less later, while withdrawing money from an M-Pesa fraudulently, money that she had transferred from her account. So that means that these, like, DCI can work, and work really, really fast. And then, of course, we've heard of, like, increased police presence in that area since then. It's like the entire road now is just littered with cops anytime past 8 p.m. But unfortunately, after the fact doesn't really, sorry, my cap is slipping. But after the fact, it doesn't really help anyone once these things have already happened. So I'm praying that we get to a point where we're not reactionary with our security. We're not reactionary with our outlook on things. It's not, oh, this happened, now let's litter the entire road with police officers. What happens to every other place in Nairobi or in Kajiado that also requires police presence? I will end by saying this. Last week we had a case of 2 guys who were arrested for robbery with violence. They had stolen from someone who was walking along Kilimani streets. They were sentenced to 25 to life, and you guys thought it was too much. Still think 25 to life for robbery with violence is too much? That's my question to Kwach, to Cindy, to Amina.
Well, first of all, Mariam, your cup was slipping to say that you are not lying. It was like... no cap.
No cap.
No, but also I am agreeing with you totally that we need to have a system of security that is preemptive, not reactive. We need to know that which areas are more likely to know because what type of robbery that is happening in those places. Unfortunately, we are getting accusations, allegedly, that some of these people are even people within the force. So I don't know. This is yet to be, you know, they are yet to prove it. But if it is true, then I don't know. I don't really know who we are to turn to. You know, strangely, Kenya is one of the countries that are sufficiently staffed with policemen in the world. It is so strange. We are almost at the point where we are meeting the UN recommended standards of police, the ratio of police versus the civilians. And yet, we are still here reporting, you know, this level of insecurity. Nairobi has been reported to be one of the most insecure cities in the world. I don't know. Yeah. There was a time it was ranking number, I think, 12 in the world, the most unsafe city. So I don't know. I just hope that, you know, something needs to be done. I like the speed by which the DCI moved to, you know, handle these cases that have grabbed public eye. I hope they just do that to the other cases as well that do not make it to Twitter, but also preempt these cases before they happen and, you know, stop them.
Yeah. Cindy, do you agree? Knee-jerk reaction every single time?
What I agree with Kwach is that there are many policemen. But if you look at the way the policemen are behaving and the many cases that are coming up of allegations of policemen hiring out their guns to thugs so they can make an extra buck, brings me back to something that I've said in this show before, and this was after post-election violence. Part of Agenda 4 was police reforms. You need to pay the cops well, you need to treat them well, you need to take them through counseling so that they don't shoot themselves, they don't shoot others, and they also don't give out their guns. There are allegations that one of the masterminds of this is a former police officer. So, you know, it just goes to show you what needs to be done to reform the police force. I agree with Mariam when she says it's very traumatizing. Just being jacked by one person as a woman is traumatizing. Now you can imagine being jacked by 4 men with an AK-47 and you're alone in the house. Apparently her husband had traveled. And you know, I only so glad to hear from a couple of sources who, you know, through my social media said that she's okay. I pray that she gets the kind of trauma counseling that she does. But I do agree, I hope this is not just a knee-jerk reaction because it got some social media traction and now everyone is like, hey, let's look for these guys. There are people who go through this every day in less affluent areas and don't get the necessary
Yeah.
reaction.
Yeah, and I also do agree with Quach when he says we hope that this is, you know, something that they will also do for those cases that don't get to trend on Twitter and don't go viral, whether it's on Facebook or whichever social media app. And we just want to say we're so sorry if you've been robbed, and man, it's just, especially when you're a woman, you're alone, it's so scary. I don't think men will ever really understand. I feel like the trauma, it's like it's a level or two higher, truly and honestly. But what do you think about that? At the Trend Live, the hashtag is TTTT. When we get back, we talk